Alright, so you've been attacked by ransomware. Every week I get Twitter messages, Facebook messages, emails from people saying, hey, I've been infected, or my friend has been infected. Here's a picture of the encrypted files. What can I do about it? So this video is going to be a full guide of dealing with ransomware. We're going to go step by step and I'll tell you everything you need to know about what you should be doing if you're attacked by ransomware. Everything shown in this video is going to be absolutely free. So these are all the steps that you should take before you resort to any kind of professional help. The very first thing you want to do is lock down infected computers in the network, because a lot of ransomware, I'd say 90% of the threats I see these days, will encrypt your network hard drives. So even if one of the machines on your network gets infected, it's very likely that it will encrypt files on all your systems. So first thing, you want to isolate that system. You can obviously block network traffic using your firewall. You can disconnect it from your network, or you can just go the most old-fashioned route, just pull the plug out, okay? That's fine, but do whatever you have to do. Stop the ransomware from causing further damage while you're watching this video. Another thing to keep in mind is a lot of ransomware encrypts in real time. So whatever new files you transfer onto the system will be encrypted as well. This is again a classic mistake that some people do. They try to restore from backup and the ransomware is still active and it encrypts the files that they restore. So the very first thing, you want to stop the ransomware from running. It's great if you can go in there and stop the process itself, but if all you can think of is unplugging the system, that's fine, just do that. You want to get rid of the active ransomware executable on the system. You can do it with anti-malware software, but again, I'd advise caution when you're going through this step, because some scanners are not very good when it comes to removing just the ransomware executable. They might remove crucial data or your key file, making your files undecryptable forever. So be careful when you're running your scans, and don't remove any key files or text files or ransom notes. Any of that stuff, just remove the ransom executable. You can obviously use any number of second opinion scanners for this. I've got Hitman Pro and MCSoft Emergency Kit here. I know what you're thinking right now, all this is good, but hey, my files are encrypted. What do I do about that, Leo? And don't worry, we're going to talk about that right now. And I'm going to give you a live demonstration. So we're going to go ahead and infect this system with some ransomware, and we will talk about what you can do about your encrypted files. So the very first thing you want to do is check if your files are decryptable, because a lot of ransomware has been broken into by security researchers, and they have made decryptors available publicly for free that you can use to restore your files. Now there's an amazing site that allows you to identify what ransomware you have, whether or not it's decryptable, and it's called ID Ransomware. So you can just go ahead and search for it. It's id-ransomware.malwarehunterteam.com. This website was developed by Demonslay, who's one of my colleagues, and it's very easy to use. So you can either upload your ransom note over here, so that's the text file that tells you that you're infected by ransomware. It could be an HTML file or something like that, essentially the visual thing that you see. Or you can go ahead and upload a sample encrypted file. So to kick things off, I'm going to infect the system with ransomware that I know is decryptable. So we're just going to go ahead and try and run Jigsaw on the system. Now this is obviously a very old ransomware. It uses a static key and thus can be easily broken into. I've also made a video showing you exactly how you can retrieve the static key and decrypt this ransomware. You can go ahead and watch that if you like. But in this video, I'm just going to run it on the system. We'll get our files encrypted and we'll see what happens from there. So I've executed the ransomware, and as you can see, the data in our documents folder is now encrypted, and we've got a .fun extension. So what I'm going to do is go to ID Ransomware. We're going to browse for a sample encrypted file. Just go ahead and select this one, and we'll click on Upload. And boom, there you go. Immediately, you get the result. It identifies the ransomware as Jigsaw, and it says this ransomware is decryptable. At this point, if you figured out that the ransomware you have is decryptable, do not pay the ransom, don't do anything, because there is a tool out there that can decrypt your files for free. Now this is likely going to be the fastest method to restore your data. So you can go ahead and click here for more information about Jigsaw, and as you can see, we directly have a link to download the Jigsaw decryptor here. You can go ahead and download that. And these are very easy tools to operate. You just need to scan the folders for encrypted files. You can just add a custom folder like so, and then you can just go ahead and click on Decrypt. Now, once this is done, as you can see, our data is restored. Now, you have to keep in mind that this is a best case scenario, so all the ransomware out there isn't decryptable. In fact, the majority of the big hitters aren't. That's why they're so successful. So now I'm going to show you what happens if we're hit by ransomware that's not decryptable. So we'll go ahead and run Spora, which I know for a fact isn't decryptable. And as you can see, now our computer is infected. We've got this HTML ransom node file. So what you want to do, again, on ID ransomware is either provide a sample encrypted file or the ransom node. Since I used this option the last time, I'll just show you what it does with the ransom node. So we'll just go to the desktop and select the HTML file and click on upload. And as you can see, here it tells you that this ransomware has no way of decrypting the data at this time. So at this point, your best bet is your backup. So if you have backups of your data offline, those should be protected. Again, if you took the first advice, disconnected the computer the moment you figured out that your files are being encrypted, the damage should be fairly contained and you should be able to restore from backup. Now, funnily enough, a lot of people do contact me who say that they don't particularly care about their data, but they just want their system to be operational. They just want to get rid of the ransomware. Now, in that case, ransomware is not particularly hard to remove. Again, you can use any kind of second opinion scanners like the ones on the desktop. There are plenty of perfectly serviceable scanners. They'll detect and remove ransomware no problem. The only issue is you'll just have to delete the encrypted data and replace it with new copies, assuming you have them. Obviously, if you don't store a lot of personal information on your desktop, maybe you just have them on a Google Drive or you just use Apple iCloud, then obviously this is not too much of an issue. Programs and things like that can just be replaced. I mean, you can just download them if they're encrypted. Most of the time, ransomware doesn't target things like that anyway. But now let's talk about the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario is you have a lot of valuable data on your system. You've been attacked by ransomware like this, which is not decryptable, and you don't have backups. Backups were stored in some kind of connected network drive, and those have been encrypted as well. So in this particular case, you can just click here to be notified if there's any development regarding this ransomware. So if you just go ahead and provide your email address, essentially, you're going to get notified if, let's say, Europol or some police agency manages to crack down on the ransomware, find the command and control servers, and obtain the keys that way. Of course, the likelihood of such an event cannot be speculated. A lot of these ransomware attacks come from Russia and from countries that might be outside the jurisdiction of a lot of the agencies that crack down on ransomware. As I said, it's the worst case scenario for a reason. At this point, all you can do is just hope that at some point the ransomware is cracked into. The only other choice you have is obviously paying the ransom. If you go ahead with that route, a lot of people advise actually negotiating with the ransomware authors because a lot of the time they will come down from the price that they quote you first. You can ask them for a demo, you can pay them a small amount up front, and they will send you a decryptor. And then maybe you can get a security researcher to save you a lot of time and money when it comes to restoring your systems. Now, I would definitely not recommend doing that. Please don't pay the ransom because that's what fuels this industry. I know in some situations people have no choice and they do it anyway. So if you are doing it, it's much better if you consult with security researchers up front rather than just try and hide the fact that you're doing it and then get into more trouble that way. But once again, I do not recommend paying the ransom. Please don't do it if you can help it. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope it answers all your questions about ransomware. If I've missed out anything important, feel free to point it out in the comments below, or if you have any questions, let me know. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed it. A lot of people who get hit by ransomware have no idea that these services exist or that you have a lot of free decryptors out there, and there are sites like ID Ransomware that you can use on your own and without any professional help. A lot of people just don't have access to good advice regarding cybersecurity threats. So please share the video. The objective here is to have a high quality guide for people who get attacked by ransomware. Just give them all the help they need to get started, everything that they can do on their own for free before they need to consult professional help. And I think in a lot of cases, it can help out massively. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the PC Security channel. And as always, stay informed, stay secure.